In my senior year of high school, when I really just didn't care to do work and I would just get on my computer and all that, I would go and watch people eat food. That's really what I would do when I'm hungry and stuff like that. Just so I don't know why I did it, but I did it just because it would make me feel less hungry. And watching some of these people, most of them made their own food, but I got introduced to people who go out and eat food and review it for themselves, right? Quote unquote food influencers, right? And that's what today's topic is going to be about. We're going to talk about food influencers and why that they are so entitled. Now, little disclaimer, I don't think every food influencer is entitled. I think that there are some authentic food influencers who just do it for the love of the game. Like I would say, kind of like Keith Lee. I haven't kept up too much with him, but when he was popping, he still is popping. But when I used to see him, he was pretty authentic with his like reviews. But today we're going to talk about the less authentic food reviewers, right? And before we get started with this video, I just want to ask for y'all to like, subscribe to the video, hit the post notifications. We're on the road to 500. We crushed a goal of 300 last week, getting 400 subscribers. So I just really appreciate y'all for even hitting the subscribe button and just watching this video. So let's go ahead and get into the video. Now, when I was doing my research for this video, I always would find one person on TikTok continuously just bashing these entitled food influencers, and they're going to be a big part of this video, at least in one or two of the situations I want to talk about. Their name is that I'm not going to say their name, but I'll show it right now. Basically, their whole brand is de-influencing. So basically, they call it entitled influencers. I don't even think it's necessarily just food influencers. It's mostly food influencers, but they call out entitled food influencers for the most part. They bring awareness to a lot of stuff that needs to be brought to. Now, first, before we get started and talk about the three situations I want to talk about in this whole to prove why I think food influencers are entitled, I'm going to show a clip or two about how food influencers will usually charge around 3 to 5K just to even do a review or something like that, right? So let's go ahead and roll the clip.
Food influencers, they're great, but the prices they charge are ridiculous. These other guys, they're looking for like $3, $4, $5,000 just to come to your place and post for one video, and everything is good. They're not honest reviews. They're just paid reviews to draw on people. And then all these people that are food influencers have no experience in the restaurant game. What have you done? What have you cooked? How the do you know that this goes good with that? Because you eat it? I do electrical work at my house. Does that make me an electrician? No. So if I'm paying you $1,000 to come here and review my food and it didn't taste good, you're just like lying to the people. Every single food place on Long Island, you can't be the best. If it really was the best, then there would be a line out the door. Back in the day, that's how it was word of mouth. People actually enjoyed it and they came because everybody else said it was good. There wasn't people influencing them to tell them that it was good. They just came because everybody else tried it and they liked it.
Now, I don't mind the fact that you charge for your own review. I think that the review is going to be less authentic when there is money involved. If you are good enough as a content creator, you really shouldn't have to get that much money to do a food review. And usually it's people who have low reviews. Not trying to be rude or anything like that, because I don't get that many views. I'm not gonna sit up here and just act like I'm all high and mighty, but it's usually the people with lower views that want like more money and stuff like that and want like more stuff. I don't understand that. My point is, if you need money like 3 to 5K, 5 to 10K to do a food review, then the food review is just not going to be authentic. And most of these food influencers aren't really like actually, you know, they're not really chef trained. They're not like a Gordon Ramsay or anything like that. Like and I'm just using Gordon Ramsay as an example. I'm not gonna say he has the best palate of all time, but like people who've been in the business for a while know exactly how it's made, know how it's supposed to taste, how it's not supposed to taste. So I'm not really gonna give food influencers the benefit of the doubt on that. So yeah, but let's get into our first and probably the longest situation. There was this one food influencer and she was really small, right? She didn't have that many followers on TikTok, but she went to this pastry place and she absolutely gave a shitty review. If we're being 100%, she gave a shitty bias review because apparently I guess they didn't comp her food off and she actually had to pay for it or something like that. And yeah, we're gonna go ahead and react to the video because this whole thing stitches 4 minutes long, so that's why I said it's the longest one. So I'm actually gonna react to it and, you know, give my 2 cents while I'm reacting to it. Let's go ahead and get into this video.
$10 on a pastry if they are really good, but you cannot use fake ass ingredients. That pistachio color is about as natural as my boobs, ass, and waistline. The coffee was super sour and acidic, but I prefer a creamy chocolatey espresso. $5 for a canal.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and skip this part because she was just yapping. After these 14 seconds that I just showed y'all should get what type of review she gave. Okay, so let's go ahead and skip to the part where the company actually said something about it, and I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna start a full thing because I don't really feel like it, to be honest with you.
So we recently had an influencer reach out to us and asked to do a collaboration.
And you know what's crazy? Before I even like finished the video, like this is not even they I checked the actual video, they had 9.1 million likes on that one. So yeah, that food influencer is just, their career is done for. I'm not gonna lie to you.
And we respectfully declined because it was not in our budget right now. Then she essentially tried to blackmail us by saying if we offered the food for free, she would then write a good review about us. I told her we'd think about it, but she still came in the next day. And although we hadn't agreed to...
Okay, so basically she's talking about wanting to give a good review after getting paid or getting their food comped off, I'm pretty sure. That's what I'm talking about, bro. They're gonna give a good review only if they benefit from it. Like they're not gonna just be authentic and give a food review, a good food review. They're not gonna do that, bro. They're just entitled. I'm not gonna lie to you.
To collab with her. We recognized her when she came in, and we still were very accommodating and offered her extra drinks. So we totally respect a bad review. But what we don't like is lying and bullying. The first thing she said was that our pistachio was so faked. Fun fact, we have right here our pistachio paste that is 100% pistachios from Italy.
Yeah, no, she just lied. She flat out lied to them, and like there's no more to it. And like the rest of the video is just basically her debunking the situation and like pulling out like the flour and all that. That's not flour.
Also, this is our panettone flour.
No, that is flour. I'm tripping. Yeah, no, they pull out their own flour and everything. And so let's go ahead
and bully them. The problem is if the next generation is influenced by her to believe it's okay to bully and disrespect the food industry.
Yeah, see, look, she just basically talking about how like the next generation shouldn't be influenced by these weirdos who just go do food reviews just for the gain of their self and not the gain of like the actual restaurant and the actual authenticity of getting a good food review, even if it's a bad food review. But if it's a bad one that has constructive criticism, it's better than a bad one that's just bad because you do a hissy fit because you couldn't get your food comped off or you couldn't get a bag. So I'm sorry, I'm going on to a little tangent, but like stuff like this can ruin people's lives. Okay. Like this is why I'm kind of up in arms about that. This can ruin someone's life, someone's livelihood, someone that's spent their whole life dreaming and building a restaurant. And I want y'all to know this. I'm pretty sure opening in a restaurant is one of the hardest things to do and not go bankrupt in. I think most of the restaurants go bankrupt within a year or something like that, right? Hence why Gordon Ramsay does like all that helping and stuff like that. But like if you give a bad review to an actual good restaurant, and I get any publicity is good publicity, it gets to a point when like let's say you had like 1 million subscribers or 1 million followers, one of the two, I don't really care, and you just give a terrible review to an actual good restaurant, like that is just so first of all, it just makes you look bad because once someone actually exposes you, you're just gonna lose all your clout, and then the restaurant might actually just go under because of your shitty review.
We like working with influencers, but acting like the working class is beneath you and promoting this kind of message on social media and bribing us for free stuff is not.
And that's another thing, bro. That's another thing with like just influencers in general, bro. And like I said, I know that I want this to be my job. I mean, this would be a great dream job. But people will always, who are influencers, and why influencers get such a bad rap is because they think the regular person's beneath them. They think that they're a bunch of narcissists, basically. They think someone who is just maybe, you know what I'm saying, doesn't want to be an influencer but just works hard is a loser, man. Like I never understood that, the fact that like you can think someone's a loser for them just wanting to live their life and maybe not even be an influencer. It's always just such a stupid, it's always been so stupid.
Really something we support. My biggest pride in what I've built here isn't just how I source my ingredients, but it's having found the people to be in my team that wake up every day and that care about what we do, our processes, and that work really, really hard to do this. And most of all, thank you to our customers, sincerely, because it's thanks to you that since day one, I get to live my dream of having a bakery. And thanks to your support, I've been able to continue to be as true to my art. So then she essentially tried to blackmail us by saying,
and here's the response of the creator. We're just gonna, I'm not gonna say too much in this one. I'm gonna let this run through. If she says something outrageous, then I'll say something.
If we offered the food for free, she would then write a good review about it.
God damn, someone finally stood up to me. You know, I gotta say, fucking kudos, for real. I respect that, I do. What I don't respect are the lies. So, here are the receipts. You want the truth, you can't handle the truth. I never said that I would leave a good review for a free meal. I have never done that, and I will never do that. So I think it's a bit of a stretch to say that I was bullying you. You have way more followers than I do. You are way cooler than I am. I will admit that. Like, I would love to have the online presence that you do. So if anything, you're kind of punching down. My video got what, like 7,400, I think, maybe 12,000, 13,000 on Instagram. It didn't do great. I also said nice things in that video. I actually do think if you stay away from the nuts, if you're like me that don't like that fake pistachio flavor, I still have one of your other pastries here. Well, this one was a pistachio, so it hasn't been eaten yet. But the pumpkin one that I loved and raved about, I'm not exaggerating. I ate it about 2 hours ago, and I will say it's been frozen for days since Saturday. Pulled it out after about 30 minutes. It was still phenomenal, and I'll stand by that. We also didn't get free drinks. We did get a free shot of espresso, which was so nice. Like, the French man that works there, he was the sweetest man ever. I said I liked my coffee strong. He sent out a free shot of espresso. That was so, so nice. Regardless, Jenna, I respect your balls. I do respect your talent. It may not be always my taste, but I do respect your talent. I think you make beautiful pastries. I'd work on that quiche, though. And I hope both your sides of your pillow are cold at night, and I do wish you nothing but the best.
That's what I call or damage control. She just basically starts glazing the other company, and that's literally what they're doing. She's just doing damage control at this point. She's not even... She's saying, oh my gosh, I wish both the sides of your pillows are so cold. Man, I raved about your pumpkin thing, and then I got a free shot of espresso and all that. I mean, I can't really just say anything about this. Like, everything was just said. Terrible food influencer makes a shitty review because they didn't get what they wanted. They make a shitty apology video, and I mean, it just... Like, if you're just gonna make a video, just own up to it. Just own up to that, the fact that you were trying to extort them and do all that, and then you made a bad review out of spite because you didn't get free stuff. I'm gonna go to the next topic. We could beat the dead horse, but the horse is already in the ground 6 feet under, been buried for about 2-3 months now. Let's go ahead and just get to the next topic though.
I wasn't planning on filming our anniversary dinner, but when we walked up, there was a dead body outside, so I knew it was going to be an eventful one. Brought us some champagne to celebrate. These oysters rock are insane. Enjoyed our romantic evening under the red and blue strobe light.
Oh my god, you guys, I almost didn't film my dinner until I saw an unspeakable tragedy and knew I had to film it. And this is the accident that she is using as the hook for her video. Now, I have called out Sarah in the past for engagement baiting, and her fans tried to cancel me for it by claiming that she was a good person. Anyways, Sarah, thank you for blocking me, because I always say to judge me by my enemies, and oh boy, I could not have asked for a better endorsement.
Now, my reaction was the same as yours, bro. Jaw wide open. She uses a dead body to get more engagement. I don't really have too many words for this other than, like, you are a piece of work. I mean, using a dead person to get more clicks, to, in fact, that you could make more money from, you know, using a dead person is so weird to me. I mean, that kind of just shows how people are. That kind of just, like... It's like that one clip of Terrence Crawford. Like, now we know your character.
Now we know your character.
Cause like now I do. It's like you're gonna use a dead body to like this is like Logan Paul all over again, bro. Yeah, let's just go and get into the next situation. I don't really think I have too much to talk about this one because like I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Like that is just a terrible thing to do. And I want to talk about this next situation because this one's a really interesting one because this one is something that I was looking at a while ago and it's really intriguing. The Slobby twins, just give a little backstory, they are two twins who are desperate for clout and desperate to be influencers and desperate for a lot of stuff. It seems like they don't want to actually put the work in to actually gain a bunch of followers, but they would rather just buy it. I checked all their social medias. I checked their YouTube, their Instagram, and their TikTok. Every one of them are without a doubt bought it. First of all, 179,000 followers. One of the videos, 400 views. I go look at shorts because they may be a shorts creator. They have 18 videos only made. Not one of them is over 10,000 views. I'm pretty sure. I go to their TikTok. They have 400,000 subscribers, 900,000 likes in total. Instagram, they have like 1 million followers, and I didn't really check their things, but it's botted. Okay, it's botted. They're all botted. They're all botted. There's so many bots. It's literally just bots. Let's get into the situation at hand. They decided to reach out to a company, a hot pot company, and they basically asked to collab and stuff like that, right? So the hot pot company says, okay, that's the deal. You get one appetizer per person, one drink, one entree, and one dessert. They asked for an Instagram reel, a story mentioned on Instagram, and then a TikTok made. Not that much, not that bad, right? And they say, okay, that bad, that's the deal, right? And then they say that they want to act like they want to bring a couple more people that are quote unquote food influencers, but the whole time that they're actually just their friends trying to get a free meal because they're a bunch of like low life bums. So they all go there, right? And everything seems fine and dandy. There's always a button in these situations. They didn't post nothing. They didn't make a single post.
So an influencer ripped off a family-owned small business for hundreds of dollars of food, and she thought she'd get away with it. So Leah here is an influencer who reached out to this Chinese restaurant in LA and asked if they would give her and her sister free food in exchange for content. After confirming her reservation, Leah then proceeds to mention she's bringing a third person, to which the restaurant says is fine as long as they agree to post one story, one Instagram reel, and one TikTok. Leah agrees, but then says she's actually showing up with a group of 6 people. Her justification for this is that she's showing up with a bunch of big food creators and publications who are going to highlight the restaurant. You can see she lists them off here. Leah and her group then rack up a $450 tab. She posts a couple of stories and they leave. Now a few weeks pass and nobody from that group has posted what Leah promised, so the restaurant does some digging after Leah ignores their messages. Remember those big food content creators that Leah said she was bringing? Well, the restaurant reached out to one of them directly and they have no idea about this dinner or Leah. Keep in mind, this is a small business started by an immigrant woman from China that is now out $500 and wasted their time and energy serving this group of absolute losers who thought they could get away with this because they have internet clout. Anyways, before I say something I regret, go support Men and Beasts in LA, and Leah, if you're watching this, go back and pay for your fucking food.
And when it comes to collabs, and I will, if you own a restaurant and you somehow came across this video by some sort of chance, right? You should always let me do a food review. No, I'm just playing. But no, if you are going to do a food review with the influencer and they reach out and they say like, hey, I really want to do a food review here. First of all, make sure all their analytics are look at their analytics, right? Check their analytics, and if their analytics don't match up to their following count, or they fell off, or you got to do a little research on the influencers themselves to see if there's an actual credible influencer. Because when I look up Salabi Twins on TikTok, bro, like there's nothing pop. They have no motion. All right, do a background check their analytics. Followers do not count. Followers do not matter. I'm not gonna lie to you, followers do not matter. If you have 1 million followers and you get like 1,000 views, then what's the point of having 1 million followers? You know what I'm saying? Followers really aren't as important as people want to make it seem. Like, yes, you need followers. Yes, you need a certain amount of subscribers to become monetized. You got to get views to make money. But getting back on topic about the Talabi twins, they tried to sue Dottie. Obviously didn't go through. It was like a fake lawsuit and everything, right? I'll show the video right now.
A few days ago, I posted about this influencer who lied to a restaurant to get hundreds of dollars of free food. Well, Leah here saw the video and she didn't like it. She had her lawyer Ryan Sauter of Sauter Law Group send me an email demanding that I remove the video or face potential legal action for defamation. Now, there's only one small problem with this. Ryan Sauter isn't a lawyer and Sauter Law Group doesn't exist. You see, what Leah and Ryan fail to realize is there's this thing called the California State Bar, which has a database of every licensed attorney in the state of California, and there's no record of a Ryan Sauter. Oh, but it gets better. The business address that Ryan lists in his email signature is associated with a real office building, and that office building has a phone number. And by calling that phone number, I discovered that there's no record of a tenant named Sauter Law Group, and the suite number that Ryan listed is associated with a reception desk. Now, you know what is illegal in California? Impersonating an attorney, and rest assured that I am reporting Ryan to the proper authorities. And finally, to Leah, who I know will watch this, you could have just taken some accountability and we all could have moved on. But instead, you and your friend tried to bully somebody but happened to run into the wrong person at the wrong time. Anyways, I would start looking for a real lawyer real soon, buddy.
But like I said at the beginning of the video, there are still good food influencers, right? And I'm gonna go ahead and show you one, right?
Friends of mine want me to try Ethiopian food. Could you pick one for me? What's your name again? Suzanne. Suzanne? Beat the rice with your hands too. Some really good stuff.
Ethiopian King Kent.
Awesome experience, 100%.
You guys asked me if there's any influencers I like? Well, here you go. No ego, no come with me to try the Dubai chocolate Benson Boone bullshit. Just someone interested in trying new food and supporting a small business. I'm gonna tag him below because I've been influenced to check out Lucy's if I'm ever in the area.
Like I said, there's always going to be good and the bad. But when it comes to anything online or anything in that space, people tend to focus on the negative, and I know that's very hypocritical because I just made a whole video about how food influencers are entitled. But like I said, I wanted to show that there are positives. But like I said, we are getting into the end of the video. I really wish I could have talked more about the Slavi sisters, but if I did, they go span more into less. They have more stuff that they've done that isn't including with food influencers. So I'm not gonna just go on a tangent about them. Just know that they are scam artists, they're fakers, they're posers, they're do anything for clout. Clout is a drug that needs to be studied, and actually needs, like, genuinely, clout needs to be studied as a drug. I don't care, it actually needs to go and be studied by like Harvard or Oxford or anything like that. Saying like, subscribe, obviously, if y'all enjoyed the video. Discord is linked in the description down below. We're building a community if you want to just ever, just have a conversation, anything like that. Twitch is linked down in the description. My Instagram is linked down in the description too. Just a little shameless plug. And I really hope y'all enjoyed this video, and YouTube really thinks that you should watch this video, this exact video. But okay, shenanigans aside, peace out.